Welcome back to the Glenville State University Athletic Department here inside the Waco Center. Today we have another edition of the Coaches Show, and our guest in this segment is head wrestling coach Dylan Cottrell. Coach, thanks for being with us today.
Good to be back again.
Tell you, full week, bang bang, coming off the being out on the field last week in the warm weather. Weather turned cold this week, and
big change.
You took it up to Cleveland where it was even colder. But up there at Case Western, an open event, right. Serves a lot of purposes for your program. What are some of your takeaways from the weekend?
Great weekend overall. We have some bangs and bruises. Some guys hurt a little bit from opens, but that usually happens, to be honest, kind of less bangs and bruises after an open tournament than we usually have. So that's good. Getting the guys in, just continuing their training. But yeah, you spoke on it. I think I've taken the team up to Ohio 4 times so far in the 3 years I've been here, and each time it snowed on us. So, not the best luck with the weather up there, but that's Northeast Ohio for you. But overall, we had a great day. We had, like I said, open tournaments are great because, it allows our red shirts and other guys and non-starters to go and wrestle as well. So that really helps from a retention standpoint. And, those guys, a lot of those guys are freshmen and young, so they need to get those matches in, right? We're wanting those guys to get, 20, 30 matches in this year and just get that mat time. That way, when we graduate some guys, that they're ready to kind of fill in those spots. But starters-wise, we had some really good performances. Gavin Kyocho continued to wrestle well. I don't give our guys the benefit of the doubt much, but he had a pretty tough semifinal match against a wrestler from Ohio State, Big Ten, and he wrestled better than him and should have won the match. And with close matches, sometimes you have human error with refs, and but that's part of it, right? So we'll just continue to try to score more points, and get better. But overall, Gavin has had an amazing first half of the season. He's doing a really good job with his controlling his weight, and he looks great down there. We had a couple other guys get in this weekend. Guy Dalen Artis, he ended up taking 4th. He wrestled 6 matches on the day, so he lost kind of early to the number 3 ranked kid in the country from Ashland, and he wrestled him 10-8, wrestled him really well. So we're excited about him, and he battled his way through the backside and beat some Division I kids. He actually lost to the Notre Dame kid in our region here at our Pioneer Duels, and then got him on the backside and got that one back. So that was good for us for regional seeding, conference seeding as well. Hunter DeLong was in the finals. He had a little injury that we're just kind of evaluating, so we held him out of the finals. In my opinion, he had already wrestled with the open, how it was. It's not seeded. He had already wrestled the best guy in the bracket and beat him. I think he was definitely going to take a title there, but it's November.
Precautionary this time of year.
Yeah, there's no reason, right? Cole Hauser looked great again. He's 12-0 on the season. Kind of rolled his way into the finals. And then he actually wrestled that kid last year who he had in the finals from Ohio State, Gavin Bell. And Gavin Bell caught him in a cradle, pinned him last year. Cole beat him 9-5 this year, really controlled the match, scored all the offensive points. So that was a good one to kind of get back from last year. And I think just shows him that he's improving, right? He's got better. Jordan Williams had a results wise, not the best weekend, but he's still wrestling tough. He came off injury. He's coming back off injury. So we're just working on little things with him to get him back to that form that he knows he can get to, right? So we're going to do some individuals with him and just continue to allow him to get comfortable being back in the lineup and going from there. And then our heavyweight Jared Campbell looked great. This was his second outing of the season, and he was a champ as well as Hauser, and so. He wrestled great the whole weekend, so we're just continuing, to bring him along, continuing to build his shape up, and once he really gets in that mid-season form, I think it's going to be really tough for heavyweights to kind of deal with him through positions. So overall, great weekend. We did. If you look at it from the perspective of last year to this year, right? We had more finalists, we had more champs, we had more placers, right, in both divisions. So. I'm excited about what happened with the weekend and really excited to move forward this weekend to West Virginia. And then some of our red shirts are going down to King. So we got a full, Friday, Saturday, Sunday slated with guys going different places and getting some more wrestling in.
Yeah, and you mentioned, what Gavin did and him getting wrestler of the week.
Right.
in the league. You touched on about him, coming down a couple of weight classes, and I know last year you moved Cole up one. Is about finding what is their best wrestling weight. Is that kind of the tightrope act of a head coach?
Yeah, I mean, one is lineup, right, on where
you need somebody in another spot.
Yeah, where we need people, and then some is that. I've found usually that the lower 5 weight classes, right, you see a lot more guys going down, right, and cutting the weight, and the upper weight classes, you have a lot more guys who like lifting a lot more, and they like being big and not cutting that weight and going down and breaking their bodies down from the summer. So yeah, I mean, obviously it's a person to person basis. Cole wrestled 157 his freshman year of college. Right now he's all the way up at 84. He's just a naturally a strong and a strong big kid, right? Who can go up in a weight class and it not be a detriment strength wise. That's the big one too, right? For some of these guys, they going up a weight class really is just going to depend on their strength, how they can handle it with their body. With Gavin's situation, right? He's a shorter wrestler, right? He's not super tall, so that weight was able to come off, pretty easy and really get him down. He's lean, very lean now at the weight. He's faster at the weight. So for him, I think going down, right, it has been great for him, and it's going to be great. Now going down 2 weight classes is pretty drastic on any. You don't see that a whole lot, right? And it's actually 3 if you want to count, because he started at 57 last year. Yeah. But he had just always kind of wrestled just naturally, where he was at and was comfortable with. His body, he looks and feels great at the weight. He's having to put extra workouts in, obviously, to keep the weight down. But he has good energy in practices, and it's only going to get easier, right, if he continues to do the right things, right? As long as he stays consistent with what he's doing right now, that weight cut's going to continue to get easier. He's going to be able to continue to eat more, right, and only look better. So the main thing for me when I look at that with guys that's cutting weight is kind of their energy in the third, right? And he's going out there looking in the third period to score points, and he's in better shape than guys, right? He's not kind of tuckering out at the end. So that really shows me that his body's reacting well to that weight cut, and it doesn't worry me.
He's been a closer for you here in the end of the year.
For sure.
Looking forward to the weekend, of course, where you start at WVU, going back up there in the Coliseum. I know you mentioned a lot of D1s this last weekend, as last year, up in Ohio. But just what it means for you personally and for the program to be wrestling in this event up in the Coliseum.
Well, it's really cool for our guys, to get in that atmosphere. The Coliseum's awesome, whether you've been there for a basketball game, gymnastics, wrestling. It's a cool atmosphere to have stuff. We had some D1s this week right there, but most of them are their red shirts. And, this is a totally different thing, right? This is starters, right? We're wrestling, two Big 12 Power 5 schools with WVU and Northern Colorado, who both have, great programs. And then, Edinboro is a smaller school, obviously, in the MAC, but they have a huge wrestling tradition there in PA, and an amazing state and location to recruit around. They've been there for years. 3 really tough teams. This week is different. We talked about this last year too, right? When we're going up to these events, especially this week, results really don't matter, right? It's great for our exposure, for our program, and we're looking for some of our individuals to get great individual wins, right? To boost our resume for NCAAs. We're not expecting to go up there and beat those 3 teams, especially right now with what, we still have, 3 starters out until we get to mid-December. But we are expecting our guys to go up there and compete, right? And get some wins in weight classes, right? And like I said, this week, even though it's a duel, it's really more about our individuals, right? And going up there and, trying to take care of business, getting some wins against some really good Division I opponents. And going from there. So, skipping forward, right, next week we got Lander duels, which is big for us in our D2 space, right? So the plan is to wrestle our starters maybe once or twice, this weekend. We're not going to wrestle most of our starters all 3 matches. And like I said, pick and choose where we think we can maybe get some wins at, and then get our team kind of healthy and back put together for those Lander duels, right? Results wise, much more important for us in our D2
Yeah.
space. But, also this is a great opportunity for some of our guys to go up there. So, we're going to pick and choose, but we're going to have a lot of non-starters wrestling this week too, right? And that's a good thing for retention because these guys get to go up there to West Virginia and be in the Coliseum and wrestle a match up there. Who knows if they ever get to do that again. It's pretty cool. So, we're going to take up a lot of guys and give different guys opportunities to wrestle some Division I competition and go from there. But yeah, it's great for our program. And I thank Tim Flynn and have a great relationship with him from, actually was recruited by Tim when he was back at Edinburgh. So known Tim for a long time and they do a great job of kind of promoting up there and allowing, smaller schools. They also wrestled Fairmont this year to come in and kind of be part of everything. So it's been great for our program the last 2 years, just exposure wise, right? From marketing standpoint to, our guys really seeing it. And for me, coaching wise, it's good that we're wrestling these really good guys. And I can kind of break down film and say, hey, when we're wrestling these tough guys, this is what we're doing wrong, or this is what we're doing right. Okay. And we can go maybe fix on it, right? For someone like Cole, right now him and Jared DeLong, those guys are really beating up on people. It's hard to kind of nitpick, what they're doing wrong. So I want to see them really get in a dogfight, right? And get tired and see what they're doing wrong when they get tired and kind of help them a little bit to, prepare them for when we get to Midwest and Nationals. That way that they're ready for that top competition.
Well, I'll tell you what, looking forward to this weekend. It's been a really strong early season. I know really laying the groundwork for some big things later in the season. Real excited about what you're doing, Coach.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you. And thank you all for being with us out there. We'll see you next week on the Coaches Show.